Coming up, branding expert Mark Rudov on what he says are the three biggest strikes against President Joe Biden. We'll tell you after this. Well, like sands through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives. Our next guest says time is running out for the Democrats and President Joe Biden. Branding advisor Mark Rudov pointing out that between the impeachment inquiry, gun charges against Hunter Biden, and that strike, the auto workers strike, those might be his three strikes and you're out.
Okay, Mark Rudov joins us now to discuss, along with the host of What's Bugging Me podcast, Dennis Neal. Something's always bugging him. So, Mark, give us your thoughts. The floor is yours. Tell us the three strikes once again.
Well, I'm not sure if he's out because I think he could show up in a coffin and he could still win the election. But if you take all three of those together, and by the way, you've heard James Comer say that out of the 12 crimes that Hunter Biden has committed, the gun crime is the least offensive because it's not tied to Joe. But I would argue that it absolutely is, because Joe entrusted his drug-addled, whoremongering, grifting son with the reputation and integrity of the United States of America. And this is what you get. So if you take the UAW strike, which is the result of Joe's climate crap that is absolutely meaningless and is going to put people out of work, he has all of this surrounding him. And what I'm saying is that the time is running out for the Democrats. If for some reason the Republicans find a way to make the election in 2024 legitimate, then Joe could lose. I'm not betting on that, but it is possible. In which case, the Democrats do have to replace him, and they have not done that yet. And they're afraid to replace Kamala Harris because they're choosing melanin over merit.
Wow. All right, want to get Dennis in here. All right, Dennis, what's bugging you or not bugging you about what Mr. Rudolph is saying?
Well, I hope that Mark is right about all of this. It's just to make it interesting to take the other side of the trade, let's remember that, okay, impeachment inquiry. Yeah, well, Trump was impeached twice. Okay, these charges, the criminal charges, well, they're saying it's kind of a sop to get rid of the case for Hunter. And as for the UAW strike as this new big thing, I'm not sure that we can blame Biden for that. I think we should blame the management of the union and of the car makers for that strike. I mean, they've gone through just a few plants here, right, with all three car makers at once. It's unprecedented. Imagine if Biden had the vitality to get in there and say at the table, tell that union, this Biden White House is pro-union. What are the unions doing by threatening the economy right before we head into an election year where no U.S. president ever has been elected in a recession year? Why are the unions turning on Biden? I'm surprised they've done this. What do you think, Mark? Well,
I have already explained it because of the electric car. The car companies are losing money on these electric cars, and it takes fewer workers to build these electric cars that nobody wants, and so they're going to lose their jobs. And because of Bidenomics, they have less buying power in their paychecks. So when you take all of that combined, and this is the first time in the history of the UAW that it has struck all three car companies simultaneously, 13,000 workers. It's going to cripple this country, and I do blame Joe because all he ever talks about is climate change, which he has invented. It doesn't exist. And he's crippling America because of it. So it's all surrounding him now. And if the Democrats expect to win in 2024, they have to replace him now. He is done. Unless, as I've said on this show and this network, the election is fixed in 24 and he can come in a coffin and still win. But assuming that the Republicans actually do something about this election 24, Joe has to go now.
All right, Mark Rudolph, always with a strong opinion. Just about out of time. Dennis, last word for you.
Well, I don't think a strike by the car companies is going to destroy the economy or destroy the nation. We're a lot stronger than that.
Right.
And if it's going to destroy it, they'll work it out because it behooves both sides.
All right. I'm going to leave it there.
Okay, guys.
Mark Rudolph, Dennis Neal, thank you.